So, Jeffrey, as Ken laid out, the key question of this case is whether this Tennessee law discriminates on the basis of sex. And I want to put back the map up for us because about 24 other states have bans on some kind of gender-affirming care. So I wonder, how could the decision in this specific case impact trans people nationwide?
Well, it could have tremendous impacts. The immediate impact is on those 26 other states, which, like Tennessee, ban the use of hormones for people who are transitioning. But if the court adopts a broad reading of discrimination against trans people as sex discrimination, that could affect the controversies about sports teams and restrooms and all discrimination against trans people. If, by contrast, the court holds that this is not discrimination based on transition status, but discrimination on the basis of the use of the drugs, then all of those other forms of trans discrimination would not be subject to what's called heightened judicial scrutiny. This came up just in the first 10 minutes of oral argument. The Solicitor General said that the Tennessee law categorically bans treatment only when it's incompatible with a patient's birth sex. And Justice Clarence Thomas, who asked one of the first questions, says, why isn't this just age discrimination rather than sex discrimination? And the Solicitor General said it classifies on the basis of age and sex. Chief Justice Roberts said, well, why shouldn't we just defer to doctors here? They're the experts. And the Solicitor General said that the evidence is contested. It's the biggest case of the term and certainly the most important for discrimination against trans people that the court has heard so far.
So, Jeffrey, do those questions, at least at this point, give you a sense of where this could be headed, or is it too early to tell?
Way too early. The oral argument just started at 10. We're in the middle of the Solicitor General's argument. Even after oral argument, it'll be tough to tell. But it's going to be a real test for Justice Neil Gorsuch, who held in the case that we were just talking about a moment ago, that Title VII of the civil rights laws, which ban discrimination because of sex, does cover discrimination against trans people. If the court holds that the Constitution has the same requirements as Title VII, that'll be very strong protection for trans people, but it's quite possible that they will not reach that holding and will say that the Constitution requires intentional discrimination against trans people. And here, if the discrimination is on the basis of medical treatment, you don't get the same protection in the Constitution that you do under civil rights laws.